thank goodness we've actually left the Rackheath Industrial estate, the former technical site. We've come down to this area called Site 6, and it's been restored by, I believe, people called the Rackheath Pathfinders. They have a Facebook page. We've come down to the edge of Site 6, and right in the corner here is this, I think the last, or one of the last remaining buildings from World War II. And this is the CO's and the Deputy CO's quarters. Okay, so according to this on the wall here, the officers and sergeants' showers. So we come in the doorway, which is here, and we can see the drains for the showers running through the middle here. Whose side was what, I'll never know. Apparently, according to a video that I saw about this, they actually cleaned all the drains out here around this site, and they still work 80 odd years after the Americans have departed. Scattered around you can see lumps of brick, so the remains of other buildings still there. So we can actually go into this surface shelter. So during an air raid, this will look exactly like this, with its butts around it to deflect anything that may have landed near it. This was raided a couple of times during the war. And you just come in here, whoever and wherever, there's obviously some of it's fallen down, and during an air raid you'd hide down in the bottom, make yourself as small as possible. Looking to the sign, the officers' mess. Must have been an entrance or a adjoining hall here into the officers' mess, which was pretty damn big looking at it again. If you have a look over here, got these little missing huts, or Quonset huts as the Americans called them. So that sort of makes you appreciate what this actually looked like when there were buildings on it. Some were brick, like the CO's house, but a lot of all these very quick to put up missing huts. So there now he's saying on the site of the Officers' Club. If you spin round and look at the top end of it, there's the remains of the old fireplace. You can imagine during the winter here, the officers all gathering around here for a bit of warmth, talk about their missions, telling their stories. And it's fantastic that this is still in shape. You can just imagine them sitting here with their feet up on the actual hearth, getting warm. These huts were very, very cold during the winter. The old fireplace, look at that before, but here's where the toilets were. You can actually see down here where the bowl would have sat, and the actual drain for it down there. Can I demonstrate? Yeah, Tony will demonstrate for you today. I don't think we need to demonstrate that one time, do we?
No. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
And this has actually been covered up since the war, and these guys have put a lot of time and effort into clearing this, which is where the bar was. I've seen a previous video, so the bar may have been here. That's the metal spikes there, on there, just round on that, and the metal spike there, another one there. Yeah, so this is, I believe, where the bar was. So you have to use your imagination a little bit to see what it was like here, but it doesn't take much, to be honest with you. If you've ever seen Masters of the Air, which I highly recommend, there's a bar in that would actually resemble what that probably looked like. Rackheath itself, if you ever visit the area, is about 5 miles northeast of Norwich in the UK. During the war it was home, as I said before, to the 467th Bombardment Group, heavy aircraft. This is B-24 Liberators. They're B-29 Liberators and referred to as the Rackheath Aggies. and they came from Wendover Air Force Base in Utah. Operations began on the 10th of April 1944 with a raid on Bourges airfield in France after only arriving 29 days before. In all, they carried out 212 missions, amounted to 5,538 sorties, dropping 13,000 tons of bombs, and are credited as being the most accurate squadron in the 8th Air Force. One aircraft called Witchcraft carried out a total of 130 missions, remained serviceable throughout the war, never turned back, and returned back to the United States at the cease of hostilities. It also suffered about 300 flak hulls and no crew were killed or injured on board. The actual 467th lost a total of 46 aircraft along with 235 airmen. That does vary in numbers wherever you read it. So Rackheath itself was a Class A airfield, the main runway being 2,000 yards long and auxiliary runways of 1,400 yards each. The perimeter track was over 2.54 miles long, having 50 spectacle-shaped hard stands placed along its length and 2 Type 2 hangars, one of which I've seen and filmed already, but the other one has been demolished post-war.